Here's a video for the word context. Context in Spanish is contexto. Notice that it's context, not context. Context in English. And context has two definitions. They're both nouns. The first one is the circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement, or idea, and in terms of which it can be fully understood. The second definition is the words that come just before and after a word, phrase, or statement and help you to understand its meaning. So the first one is about circumstances, things that happen, events in the world, real events that happen in the world. The second definition is not about events in the world, it's just about words. And the second definition is the one we hear a lot in English class, especially when we teach vocabulary, because we talk to you about using context to identify words. So I'll talk about what that is. We have lots of word families: contextual, contextualize, contextualized, contextualizing, uncontextualized. So contextual is having to do with context. Contextualize, that really has to do with definition one. And we use it a lot for like history. We talk about to contextualize something means to put it in context. It means like to explain the circumstances. Contextualize es como explicar las circunstancias en que pasó un evento, como en la historia. To contextualize an event. So synonyms for context are circumstance or background. There are no antonyms. Okay, so let's look at a sentence with this. So this is taken from the news right now, right? President Trump is going to be impeached, and in his impeachment trial, the Democrats are arguing that things he has said since the election should be considered as context for the what happened on January 6th when people, as you know, I'm sure have seen in the news and heard, these people and a lot of other people forced their way into the Capitol building. So President Trump's impeachment trial will consider, because he was not there, obviously, he was not in the Capitol, he did not go in there, are the things that he said. So these things that he said about the election before this happened, we could say that they form the setting for what these people did, that they could be part of the context for what these people did. And Republicans and Democrats disagree about how much this caused this, but it certainly is part of the context. This happened. He was talking before this happened. So it's part of the events that happened before, that happened around this, that this should be understood. The Capitol violence should be understood in terms of what was happening in the whole country with President Trump at the time. So that's a use of the word context. And then let's look at context for words. So context for words is, so here I have a little slide that explains what it is. What are contextual clues is using context. It's so when you're trying to understand the meaning of a new word, you look at other words that are before that word or after that word, and then you use that to figure out what the new word means. And so surrounding words before and after can give readers helpful context clues about the meaning and structure of the new words. And here's a sentence for talking about that. Finding word meanings from context can be very helpful for standardized tests when you have no access to a phone or a dictionary. So it might seem like now everybody has their phone. If they see a new word, they translate it or they look it up in their online dictionary on their phone. But for one thing, if you do that all the time, you're not thinking as much, about what words mean, and you don't get good practice that can help you to understand the language. Also, in situations like a standardized test, you get stuck if you're not used to trying to find words from context. So, because on a standardized test, like a test for, what's it called? The Smarter Balance test that you'll take as juniors. It's a very important test where we evaluate the school. Or the NWEA computer test, right? You're not supposed to use your phone or anything for that. You're supposed to just figure out the words from the rest of the sentence. So that's a good skill to practice, to be able to figure out words and what they mean from the rest of the sentence, because then you don't like panic if you see a new word. You look at the words around that word and you try to figure out what the word means. So if we go back here, this is a sentence again, talking more about the word context. This is the sentence that you would copy on your card if we were back in school making cards every week. And this sentence says, students should use the context in the sentence to understand a word they don't know before looking in a dictionary. So that's a good technique. Try to figure out, ideate out what the word means before you look in a dictionary, because it can help you be more aware of what the words mean and get more of a real sense, yourself of what they mean instead of just using the dictionary or the translator all the time. Okay, thanks very much for watching. That's my video for context.